go refinery, you want me to, Lou?
Just like, no, I got it. You can leave on my
got
ship.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're being landed on? Are we good?
We're good.
Alright. Not bad.
Binary just open? What the hell?
Might be worth rotating through depending on our armors.
Nothing crazy going on here. I don't know. They haven't talked much about macro game here other than like
Triple blue. We're on terrible.
that ping.
Any energy, anyone?
I want to hear more about
There's 6 here.
what they want to do.
Yeah, but
There's gonna be a team train.
or Mirage.
Again, notice
I was thinking
they just want to fight. Very interesting. Very different.
Play in like the train tracks and shit.
We should definitely look for the team coming in from Overlook then.
That in there.
Darwin, what are you doing?
You guys wanna posture towards Mirage then, I guess, and look for a fight there.
Go back here.
Yeah. Let's get that edge. I actually like that edge over by Mirage because it ends down here at this compound.
So this is the game. If,
There's a
talk
team
about
up-
the circle
there's a team
here.
Down at all the compounds.
if Lou opens up the map again.
Here.
There's a team under bridge, yeah.
We wanna go Mirage, we can just bully.
Yeah, let's go around this way to Mirage.
Yeah, down.
Yeah.
Wait, I think we actually did
Mirage, we
a.
can just bully everyone on that side.
I think we actually did a listen in on the ALGS cast about this team right, or about Lexi right here. Literally right this exact moment.
There's a team here that we can fight. They know we're here.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna, yeah, let me,
Where do they talk about, particularly about
Merc,
bullying?
Watson.
okay.
I got his gen as well. I'm gonna ult.
I-61, cracked!
Because there's not a lot of, so like the difference between complexity and a lot of other teams is not a lot of the other teams. So the circle, I'm actually gonna go back up. I'm gonna back it up here a bit.
Sit on like that side of the mountain.
Blue opens up the map here. Yep. So every team knows. Everybody, if you haven't watched the tournament or if this is your first time seeing it, the circle ends up closing here, right? And they for the most part know that. Most teams are gonna read this circle. In fact, well, a lot of teams that aren't playing the teams that are playing Pathfinder know it's gonna end here because of the second circle that shows. I'm not sure necessarily if Complexity knows the circle. I don't want to say that right away if they know it's gonna be this one. They have an idea, obviously. That's why they're rotating this way. But most teams wouldn't be rotating all the way around this way. But the only reason Complexity is doing that is because their only goal is to just pick fights on the edge of the fucking circle and just fight. And
It doesn't look like anybody's gonna be coming from train.
I mean, you heard it literally right before this part where Reptar goes, let's just look for teams to bully,
team here,
which is exactly what that is.
They know we're here.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna, yeah, let me, can we go around northwest and
I
get an angle?
Merc, Watson.
Okay.
I got his gen as well. I'm gonna ult.
I-61, cracked! Hit 100, hit 100!
I cracked one. I hit 176. 76 on blue. I molly passed.
Yeah, me too. I'm burning one for blue.
He probably could have thrown that ult a little further back behind them to kind of like force them in front of them, into them.
There is a team top.
But
top
I don't.
Not a big deal.
I'm rush.
I'm not gonna.
They're gonna get bullied. I don't know where that's going, but I think they're gonna get
Yeah.
bullied.
Can we fence?
Team top rush. Yeah, I can test it.
Yeah.
So-
They're gonna come back.
I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, this team's goal is basically just bully every team on the edge of the zone. Try to kill them if they can. Right, this team that they just destroyed the pylon and Jibby ulted did exactly what Complexity doesn't want them to do, which is just running.
Yeah, well, there's shit.
Complexity
Right
wants to
here,
fight
right
teams.
here. Tuck it back. Nope, that's a different one. Okay.
Yeah, I thought they took it back too. They're like down here.
Yeah. Just careful with Mirage.
Where is this caustic gas? Remember, it's already here.
Yeah, that was already
So yeah,
Okay.
that's unfortunate for their
Good zone.
Complexity because
Good
they
zone.
wanted to fight
Good
this
zone.
team. They wanted to kill
this
them.
one right here. Can we go west and
Look at that.
come up?
This caustic gas.
They're very good at
here.
reading
Yeah,
zones.
that was already there.
Which begs the question, I'd be very curious to see
Good zone.
Complexity
It's way
play
south. It's farther south.
I think it's this.
that. Monsoon literally calls the exact zone that it is. And I think it would be very interesting to see. I would love to see Complexity just play like the standard play style of, you know, rotate to the zone you think it is, cuck all the teams around you that are rotating, and then fight on the edge if you have to, blah blah blah, etc. Take the zone and win. I'd love to see them actually play that style and see how that would work out for them. But at the end of the day, this is certainly a much more interesting play style where they just fucking every team they come across.
This one right here. Can we go west and come up on? No, there's a team there, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. looks like-
That's also
We could
fun
play underneath
too.
Mirage,
Yeah.
but it might be a little different.
But
to get
one of the things about I think that's worth mentioning about this playstyle is even though it's very risky, right? They force 3v3 fights where they normally wouldn't. That's not risky. What's risky to most teams isn't risky to them. And that's what I think is like really interesting. Like a lot of teams probably wouldn't take the fights that they do. Actually, I say probably, but I know 100% they wouldn't. So, but again, to Complexity, it's not a risky fight because they know they're a better team than most. So for them, it's not a question of, oh, you know, should we take this fight? Should we take this position? It's a matter of, if anything, how many teams are in the area, or do we take the fight properly? The first two games, games 1 and 2, came down to just, I think, not listening to comms, and then game 1 was not calming enough. Game 2 was not listening to comms. So if their comms are on point, which most of the time they are, like, they don't lose and they reset so fucking beautifully. So it's just a matter of, are they listening to each other? From now, at least, from what I've seen so far, it's just a matter of if they're listening to each other very well.
I mean,
it doesn't matter where they play as long as they're playing as a team together, which is just not many other teams can say that.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea actually. You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, it's game 3.
I totally don't mind that.
Anything but being here. I actually hate being where we are.
Such low ground.
Low ground underneath 2 teams.
And I guarantee we're gonna find a team in train yard.
Yeah.
The team should be rotating around, like doing what we're doing, but the opposite.
Yeah.
You see any?
Notice that. I guarantee we'll find a team in train yard.
These guys
Most teams would be like,
weird.
there's probably a team in trade yard, so we gotta like rotate around that. They're just like they welcome that, and I love that.
It's not bad if nobody can see us from train. The only thing is
let's go towards Harvester side.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just looking for teams. They're just looking like they could easily just play right here if they wanted to, and then kind of like slow rotate. But all they care about doing is fighting, and I love that. Not many teams, by that I mean like barely any, play like this.
We should probably top up just in case. Whatever fight we can get into, we'll probably be able to loot. Then we had Valky, didn't you?
They're close to my right.
Can we crouch walk?
Ah, the fucking Watson here. They just set up. They're not up on the top. They're to our right.
I'm sliding over.
They have a Gibraltar.
I'm popping cells. Rep, you're alone over
They're
there.
gonna push.
I put Jen here.
I think they're gonna push you, Ren. Watch it.
We can down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay.
I'm not saying we're right here, man.
That's a cheeky ass angle. I did not know about that one.
No.
I'm gonna push up on them a bit.
But it could be very useful.
We can force them.
They have to still be here. They have to still be here. They can't move from
They
here.
are. Crack Jimmy on the left.
Let the bump go down. Don't get caught out here. Are they TPing out?
Yeah, they just TP'd out.
I'm gonna sit in the TP.
Yeah, same.
Wiring
See,
it,
TP,
and
it's
I'm
a
gonna
Sparkler
shit
here.
TP. Oh, they made it in now.
They got in there. What?
I don't think there's anybody in that building either, bro.
Alright, come up and around.
I love Monson's
Yeah.
surprise reaction. What?
Take the high ground. Maybe we can take.
There's people behind us.
Yeah.
It's a pass.
This is actually ideal for them right here. This is what they want. A team actually coming up behind them and forcing a fight.
This is really good for us, actually.
Yeah, this is good.
Wait, he went.
They're going past.
85 on one. Nice.
Down plus.
I'm dumbing forward.
Yep.
47.
I'm pushing on the path.
Yep, push on path, everyone.
56.
I got path.
Nice.
Go back.
I'm getting full on path.
That's 2 easy kill points. Not sure where RKN is, but that's exactly what they want, dude. That's exactly what they want.
Try and go around.
Yeah.
Yo, care. There's a team here looking at us.
Alright, wait, that can be our next fight.
On the height.
Yeah, on the height. Shit.
I think it was a solo from the house.
There was 2. I saw 2 on the hill.
Okay.
I got Perpy.
Got
I should trade
Perpy.
one.
I'm pushing up.
Thank you for that.
How long till dome?
2 seconds.
Okay.
They're on top of the house. I don't think he knows we're here.
They don't.
We can beam.
They see us now. Alright, let's see.
How's this looking? We could go all the way south. We could
Does anybody
try
get
to keep this. I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna
we
walk
can-
it down southeast and see what we
It
can
looks like
get.
there's a
I mean,
team
they
there.
called the circle perfectly.
Yeah.
Almost every single game they've called the circle perfectly. Actually, every
Wanna
single
walk outside
game
of zone?
they've called it perfect.
Nah.
It's just a matter of how they play
We're
it.
ballooning almost.
To where?
Uh,
We could balloon.
Balloon, that's a good idea. We should try it. I think we should balloon all the way to like. I mean, there's gonna be a spot free over there.
yeah, I think we
Wanna
just have
do
to literally. Somebody has to be the leader, and the other 2 follow. Like that's just.
Alright,
how we
I'm
have to
leader. Mon,
Okay,
you
you're
need to
the
go
leader.
last.
And worst
You need
case,
to
you
go
land.
last.
Worst case, you land in dome, or you land in dome and Mon TPs immediately. Heard?
Yep.
Heard. Maybe we can get under.
This is what I love about them though. Is like is that like a lot of teams do this where they talk about like every small little step, but no team does it as much as Complexity does because of the haha complexity of their actual strategies. which is what I love about it. Is like every little bit where like it's a little bit out of the ordinary, they talk about like thoroughly, and they all are on the same page and they understand exactly, you know, hey, this might be a little bit different. Because normally when you go up a balloon, normally you send the Watson up there just so she doesn't get beamed. But in this case, because you're kind of rotating blindly, they're calling for the Gibraltar to go first so he can immediately just dome. He gets down, domes if he has to. If he's in trouble, the Wraith lands in there, sets up the TP, and starts to get away. So every like little thing is like, I want to say microed, but more so like talked about, and that's what I really like about this team. They play very obscurely, very differently from everyone, and they know that, and they also make sure to keep that like known within the team on exactly what to do.
This team's TPing right here. Just keep going straight.
Like, I've never heard, up until, of all the teams I've VOD reviewed on stream, I haven't heard of a single team say, you know, like, micro the balloon drop that hard. But in a good way.
Get here,
it's not a bad thing at all.
And we're gonna go far. We're gonna go far side. Just watch out for that.
Yeah, Lou is very smart at calling
dome,
zones, buddy.
Yeah, I got a dome in here.
I got Phoenix.
No, there's no daddy watching, Shake.
I'm gonna move up.
Just keep running.
I'm gonna look for shots so they can't. I don't think they're pushing. I think we're good.
There's a team on our side getting fucked.
Just keep going straight with me, right?
Yep, I'm with you. Yes.
What about the toilet bowl? Is the toilet bowl taken right here?
Yeah, it is.
What about underside right here?
Toilet bowl.
Being just
That's
TP'd.
toilet bowl to you?
There's a team right here getting bullied.
What about under that? What
Wait,
about
is there
under
a team?
that?
No, is there a team underneath there, Mon? Oh, okay.
What about underneath there? What about underneath there?
Just drop down. Let's drop down. Come with me.
Nothing?
So a team over in my red ping over here to the left, West, just TP'd under the
Yeah.
big place.
Yes.
This is their TP. They're in here now. Oh, I have to dome.
Yeah. We gotta stay right on me.
Or okay, should we go to? Yeah, we're gonna go to.
I'm thinking that we can play underneath the platform right here and be fine.
Okay.
And
I've never played there. I've never played there. before.
What about on you, Mon? You're safe on you.
It is sped up, yeah. Because
What about just playing under you?
they're just
Popping a syringe.
talking on comms.
We have to watch out for this
Yeah,
team.
there's
watching,
nobody underneath
like,
this. There's nobody underneath this.
Okay, man. Just remember, we're not with you.
I think we can run along under. Yeah.
Can you TP
What's
us?
the hardest character to master for comp? I would say
I don't
probably
think so.
Gibraltar.
I think we can crouch this, Lou. There's a team up there.
If you have a
looking
bad Gibraltar, you're just
Oh,
gonna have a bad time.
Just run it.
at- Yeah, we're sprinting it.
If you dome, I can TP if we need.
I need dome.
Just reset here and then get under.
Over on the other side.
Yeah, on the other side. Right down
I
here.
Oh my
I struck
god.
favorite, boys. I
Yeah,
struck favorite.
favorite.
Yeah, I
Holy
struck
shit,
favorite.
that's so unlucky.
From where?
Above.
Top.
They're gonna TP on us. What? He took it back.
I'm wiring.
Yeah, he did.
Boys.
He did take it back.
I wired it. Just res. Come on, res.
Yep. I promise you, I'm trying to do everything.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking die. They're
So
gonna
right
take.
here.
I wired it. They're gonna take, so.
This spot's okay.
That's so sketchy, dude.
I
So
don't have dome
sketchy.
yet. Yeah, here.
How long?
I dome for 2 seconds.
That's so. Oh my god.
Can I have one syringe?
So this is the problem. Well, it's one of the problems when you're playing a Gibraltar team is getting up to the high ground, or just traversing high ground. Like, look at this. Like, if you're a Gibraltar team, the only thing you can really do from this point on, like, obviously you can't traverse any of that. You have to go up through the zips here, or you have to rotate all the way around and go up through this. That's probably unlikely because of the team up here. There's probably a team here, minimum, and then obviously any of the teams watching up here. So. This is a bit of a monkish shake rotation. And it's interesting that Monsoon called this one because he knew that it was going to be this circle, right? He knew that it was going to be... They called it a while ago it was going to be this circle. So, it's interesting because in this type of circle, when this circle closes, most of the action is going to be all on this edge right here because this circle to get in, there's only 2 fucking choke points to get in on. And this is the big one that most people are going to funnel through. So, very tough rotation, especially for no Pathfinder. See how it plays out.
We have to go above.
I know they don't win this game.
We have to go above and
but
take that platform. Can we
I'm
do that
curious
now?
how they do.
Up here?
That
Yeah, we
platform
can.
is gonna be really sketch for us.
I know it is for now, but I think we have to do it right now.
Yeah, going
team's
down
looking at
here
us,
was
though.
definitely an interesting call because
I don't know about taking.
getting out is very difficult.
Well, then what else should we do?
We can.
If they had a path, it's
I
different.
might be able to TP around.
If they have a
the
path here,
west.
it's
Can
very
you
different.
climb this with TP, Mon?
No, I don't think there's any way to climb that.
Wait, right here?
Yeah. Maybe. I'm
Fuck
gonna
it,
start
let's do it.
testing.
Fuck it.
Just remember the team on house has Kraber.
Yeah.
Mon's got it, I think.
If this fails, it's a lot of time wasted. Obviously, if it's good though, it's good.
I can't get up that.
What about right here?
Alright, then we should probably have to take rope.
What about right here, Mon?
Yeah.
Alright, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just heal.
Yeah.
We'll test that shit later.
Team's still
Where the
peeking
fuck
us.
are we? I
They
think
aren't
we
keeping.
try to go for far left here.
Every single donation's coming
Because,
through
How do we
so
get there,
far.
though? We can't get up
I mean,
there.
we'd have to walk this way.
And it hasn't changed for a while. It's
We
been at
can't get up
405
there.
for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can walk up the hill there. They're on us, post out though.
You would have to TPS there.
Yeah, 100%.
Mon, I think that's a little too risky, Mon. I think there's too many on that side.
Alright, we have 20 seconds. We have 20
There's
seconds.
people here now. There's people here,
Yeah,
so we
they're
have to
kinda
do it.
fucked here.
We have to do it.
Here.
They're so fucked here.
I'm setting up TP.
You need to get us across with that TP, though.
Yes, I know. Get ready to dome TP and take it. I don't think it's a way, boys.
I don't think it was either.
Hold on.
But we have to do it.
Yeah.
Just drop it. We have to go now, Mon.
Come up to me. They took the TP out.
We walk in.
We could take their TP. Yeah, their TP's right there. Do you see
I'm
it?
not taking it.
Yep.
Let's get shots up. I cracked one. Take it, take it, take it.
I'm taking it.
Take, Lou.
84 on one. 98.
Cracked Wadi. Wadi dead.
What did you on that guy?
They're one, boys. They're one.
I got one.
We got TP'd on.
Armor swapping, armor swapping.
Watch
Armor
me
swap,
above,
armor
watch me
swap.
above.
Another team ready,
I
ready,
love
ready.
the balls.
I'm dead.
Thank you.
I mean, they had no other play. They had no other play.
8 foot fucking controllers.
God, dude, that was literally like 2 other teams there too.
We got 8 by controllers, so that's really what it was. Oh, and TSM. Super sick.
That sucks.
And Prodigy Aces, Rose and Blackout.
We got
That
nine.
sucks. They had no other
This game
play.
is not bad.
Being stuck that fucking low ground.
Cracked Wadi.
They had no other play.
What about right here?
Alright.
Like legit, like I mean, like I'd already mentioned, no use fucking drawing through that shit again. But there's no getting up there. If they had path, this is way different, right? They could easily just zip up here and then play off that if they wanted to, or they can go over here and then zip over here on like a little bit on the west side. But I mean, I'm curious. I'm surprised they put themselves in this position. Like Monsoon called this spot a while ago. He knew where the circle was gonna end. He called it where they called it perfectly. They literally pinged right where exactly where it ends like 2 circles ago. I'm very surprised they put themselves in this position. It's a tough rotate,
Then we
but
probably have
at
to
the end of the
rope.
day, there's not.
What about right
I know their plan is to just look for the teams on the edge of the circle. I think they were hoping to find a bit of more of a fight. They were kind of coming through here.
Just playing under, no?
I think they were literally looking for a fight all the way around here,
never-
hoping to find a team. But
Has to be the leader and the other 2 follow. Like that's just.
All right,
how we have to
I'm
do it.
leader. I'm leader.
yeah, I'm
going
very
straight.
surprised. So they knew where the circle was. I'm trying to see. Hold on.
Keep running. Here, just keep going straight. Get here.
I mean, they're basically. It does make sense that they had to go this way. I'm surprised. I'm just surprised they went under the platform.
Maybe we can get under
So,
thermal.
The team's TPing right here.
so if we take a look at this, so there's a team here. They can't go here, so this is a no-go. This would be ideal for sure. You can't see it, but this area back here would be ideal for sure. But it's a little bit rough in terms of there's already a team there. Duh. They can't go here because this is like, if you take this fucking little highway, this low ground highway, you're basically gonna die from anyone up here and anyone shooting down on you here. So they basically have to go around. I'm just surprised they take the underneath the platform, because then
Get
it
here,
kind
get
of
here,
cooks
get
them
here,
on
we're
where
going
they can rotate.
And we're gonna go far.
This
We're gonna go far
overall,
side.
this rotate, I'm totally cool with. It makes sense.
Favorite.
The reason they take this rotate is because they know the circle's ending on the thermal side. They don't want to be stuck on the north end of the circle, and they don't want to have to rotate through the choke with everybody else. So they're trying to take a rotation where they can play away from
What
everyone
about the
else.
toilet bowl? Is the toilet
So
bowl taken?
it's
right
good.
here?
It's a good rotation.
TP.
It's more so that they
Run
choose to
along.
play this platform.
From one res.
This.
As a Jibby team
I know,
with
I
no
know.
Pathfinder, there's just not much you can do here. Their play call to take that portal that was over here by the platform, I think it was fine. I think it's a good play call by 100%. No early game, late game IGL. I mean, it depends on every team, man. Like for example, like every player on this team is very smart. They all know how to play the game, and they all are very good at calling circles. They understand how the game is played at its core. They could all probably IGL or be labeled as IGL. for the most part, they work through the circle calls together. But a team like Complexity, when push comes to shove and it comes to really tense situations, Monsoon is the overarching IGL. He's the one that calls like the big plays, take the portal, don't take the portal, etc, etc. But they all have like a hand in it. TSM is very similar to that, but a team like NRG, for example, they have Rocker and Nathan definitely have been more of a shot calling role than I've known them for, at least in the teams that they played before. But the overarching IGL for NRG is Frex, and they respect that. So Frex is more of like the solo IGL in that team for sure.